I was watching YouTube the other day and I came across a video. I'll play it now. It's about the concept of the third place, something I'd never heard about before. This is what this lady has to say about it.
I read an article last week about third places. So my question to you is, do you have a third place? And in case you don't know what that is, and I'm guessing a lot of people don't, so you have your first and second places, which are home and work, and then your third place is the other place that you go to when you're not at home or being at work. And I think for most people that involves a physical place. So, it might be that you go to a pub on a Friday night, or it might be that you do a lot of stuff at your local library, or you have friends locally and you spend a lot of time there. Or they're like your anchoring points, so the places you go to. Having a third place is a weird one because I don't really have one. I don't really know anyone where I live because I moved somewhere where I didn't know anybody at all. And that's fine. I'm a massive introvert. I'm quite happy on my own. It's not a problem for me. I don't have that place that I go to. I suppose the only place that I go to on a regular basis is Morrison's. You can't call the local supermarket your third place if you're just going there to shop. Maybe if I was going to the cafe and meeting friends for coffee there or something at the same time, but I don't. So, where is my third place? Well,
So as far as I could understand, the idea is that you have home, which is your first place. You have work, which is your second place. Those are places that you frequent regularly. And your third place isn't home and isn't work. It's somewhere in a social sphere. But what's important about it is that it means something to you. You feel like you belong there. You may even have a little community going on there, somewhere you feel you are with like-minded people, where you can take your comfort, eat and drink, or just partake in some kind of communal activity. For example, the pub or church would be perfect examples of a traditional third place. I don't go to the pub much, and I don't really go to church either anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. And it got me to thinking about third places. And I sort of came to the conclusion that it's not always possible to identify a third place that falls exactly under the descriptions laid out by this initial concept. I do attend a knitting group, and I do usually go every week. It's lovely to be with other people who have got a passion for knitting and making clothing, etc. And it's a really great creative outlet for me. I like to go because it gives me an opportunity to relax, to be away from home, to be with other women, because it is mainly women who go. And I get on with the people who go there because we've got a really important thing in common. When you're with people who have something in common with you, you can assume that you have similar values, you get on, the conversation flows because you've got so much to talk about. You ask about their project, they ask about your project. You've got a lot of information to share. As a hair wearer, of course, the third place has been one of those arenas that initially had presented quite quite a challenge for me in many ways, because I had mastered wearing hair at home. I was able to experiment in the privacy of my own home, and Stephen had accepted and encouraged my hair wearing. When we move into the third place, there are two different types of third place. There's the place where you're anonymous. So, for example, Stephen and I often go visiting local villages, and we go to cafes or restaurants, but we don't really know anybody there. We just go there to enjoy the place and to enjoy each other's company. And those are the places I feel I can wear lots of different styles, different colours. One day I might have short hair, the very next day we might go somewhere for the day and I'll wear something much longer. I can wear toppers, I can wear wigs, it doesn't matter, because I'm anonymous in those places. Nobody knows me, and if I do bump into somebody I know, usually the styles I have are a mixture of browns and blondes, and it could viably be that I've just done something to change my hair up. I don't think it would be a very big deal. But my interesting challenge was with, let's use the knitting group as an example, and indeed I go to another group. It's a kind of it's a more political group, and it meets one day a month in the evening at a pub. But I found that over time, it's mainly with men. I go with Steve, and there are mainly men there. There is the odd woman that drops in now and again. But it's not really a place conducive to me disclosing hair loss, talking about my hair loss problems, or talking about my hair wearing. It doesn't really apply. It's not particularly appropriate. And I dare say a lot of those men wouldn't really be able to understand what I'm trying to say or care. They just take me at face value. And I found that during those times, I have always turned up with a long brunette style. It's mainly been my real hair toppers, because overall I found that my real hair toppers are the most natural pieces that I own, because you're able to move your hair around, wear your hair up, flick your hair from side to side, and you've got those real hair strands that are natural, real hair. So to all intents and purposes, people are looking at a head of real hair. And I've been very comfortable with that. I tend to wear two styles of topper. I have Aida, which generally speaking is a middle parting, and it just goes into beach waves on either side. It's kind of the same length as this, same colour. That's another important point. And I have Savannah, which is this one. Now, the only recent change to Savannah is that I cut a fringe into her. The reason I cut a fringe into my topper is because it doesn't have a lace front, whereas Aida does have a lovely lace front, very natural lace front. And because this one doesn't have a lace front, it had a kind of a parting. But has a beautiful silk top. It was kind of being let down. I think this style is specifically for people who've got hair at the front of their head, and you're supposed to blend it with the front of this topper so that people can only really see the front of your hairline and that silk top. But you guys know the extent of my hair loss. I don't have hardly any hair at the front of my head. I mean, even as I'm saying this, I can't believe that it's progressed to that stage. So I approached that conundrum with that particular group. I just wanted to appear in my most realistic way. I didn't want to talk about anything personal. It wasn't really that kind of group. It was mainly with men. I don't really want to talk about my hair loss with men. I don't feel that they'd particularly be very receptive, and they'd probably be a little bit awkward and maybe even a little bit embarrassed. That's something I don't even want to find out. That's something I don't want to do at all. So I just alternate between very similar styles there. The two toppers and, for example, a piece like Heidi by Paula. It's just a number 10 medium brown, and it's kind of layered at the front. I can certainly wear her up if I want. I feel that the main thing is that in that particular third place, I have chosen how I want to present myself and what makes me feel most comfortable. I've set my boundaries as to what I am and I'm not prepared to discuss. And so far, it's worked very, very well. And may I add that ever since I added this fringe to Savannah, the realism of this piece has stepped up to an extraordinary level. Of all of my pieces, if I needed to rebuy, I would choose Savannah in this colour because it fits in with my lifestyle so well. I feel myself when I'm wearing her. I'm totally at ease. The beauty of her is that she's got a very wide cap. I believe it's a 9x9. The details will be in the description box below. And because I have diffuse hair loss now all over, I don't want a small cap that doesn't give me the coverage that I need at the back of my head. I don't want the topper hairs to separate and to show very fine hair behind them. That's a look that would cause me to be ill at ease, to feel anxious, and I'd be straight back where I started, having anxiety about hair loss, being preoccupied with what other people could and couldn't see of my hair loss, feeling self-conscious, focusing on my discomfort rather than focusing on enjoying the event that I'm attending. One of the biggest gifts that hair wearing has given me has been the pleasure of feeling at ease again when I'm with other people, and the joy in putting on my social face, which includes clothing and makeup and jewelry and accessories. So putting on my social face and presenting myself to others in how I'd like them to see me, an echo of how I see myself. One of the big problems when I had hair loss and didn't have a good solution to manage it is that I felt that I had faded away. My personality, my history, my values, my talents, I felt had faded away as my hair loss progressed. And if we add the natural greying of hair, if we add that on top, I found that I didn't recognize myself anymore. And I couldn't bring all of myself to meeting other people anymore. Especially meeting new people became quite disheartening because they didn't know me when I was younger. They just took me at face value. And I made absolutely no impact. It's easy, isn't it, to sound to sound vain and self-important when I say something like that. And I don't think it has much to do with vanity or a desire to be the most important person in the room. But I felt like I didn't have any presence, like I was invisible, like I was of utterly no consequence, like I'm sure that some of you may understand what I'm trying to say, some of you who have suffered with hair loss yourselves, and you probably would be able to explain it much better than I'm able to explain it. The long and the short of it is that I have that pleasure again. I have that joy again. And it's a wonderful thing that I'm eternally grateful for. But one of the loveliest and most delicious things that I do in a third place is take myself off, just me. Now, the vintage shop is just in this little tower. And you can see there's a sign there saying tea room. Those roses, beautiful.
Any particular project in mind? Or just...
Wow, look at this. I love that painting. I wonder how much it is. I'll have to have a look in a minute. And I love coming into this little room. It's so cool. And they've got so many lovely things here. In the distance, you can hear the children in the schoolyard and a little plane up ahead. But the peace and the quiet and the stillness in this place. I need to come here every now and again. And although there isn't a community as such here, people don't know me here, I don't really know anyone here. Over time, Steve and I have come here so many times and we've kind of built memories here. And I feel that I have enough of a connection with this place now to get something out of being here, get a sense of continuity. Let me turn you around. So at least you can admire this gorgeous piece. It's not very sunny, the sun's gone back in, but I'm just walking around the grounds now. I was very tempted by tea and cake. Now ladies, take a good look at her. She is starting to clump together. Do you see that? And when I pick her up like this, you can see, can't you, how she's clumping together. I last curled this piece weeks and weeks ago, and this is just the result of how those curls have kind of fallen out, but some of them have remained in quite a haphazard pattern. Very natural. But what I propose that we're going to do, because it is actually Thursday today, and I am going to one of those meetings I spoke about, let's do what any normal full-head person would do, is wash and restyle their hair, ready to go out this evening. Let's see what she looks like styled up with this new fringe in. I'd like to lift the fringe up a little bit so that it's not too flat against my head. I quite like that. And to just put in a few beach waves. Give her that freshly washed, freshly styled look. I'll see you on the other side. If you're new to my channel, ladies, you must admit that going out with a head of hair like this is extremely problematic. If you actually want to present yourself in the best light, I need to let you see what I resorted to when I was at work or going out to a nice gathering. This is it. There's not much you can do with this. Are you facing a similar problem? Is your hair becoming so fine that you literally can't put anything in it, like fibers or any kind of building up fibers that's going to make any difference to it? Now, I need to touch up my makeup, but even a lovely red lipstick, it's not really giving. It's not giving. So let's look at this sort of collection of low-key, long brown pieces that I interchange when I go out to a place where I'm seeing people regularly, but I'm never going to be really pally with them. I'm never going to be sharing intimate information with them. We're kind of focusing on a separate topic than my hair loss. As I mentioned earlier, I have got Aida. She's this Uniwigs real hair topper that I find wonderful. The beauty is the speed and the convenience of this. I curled her last time after washing her. The curls are kind of still there. I would quite easily present myself like this on an evening out. This evening I can easily wear this if I want to. Interestingly, Aida has got sort of little baby hair type, shorter pieces of hair here at the top, and they blend in. But it's a nice echo to the fringe that I've just cut into Savannah, because it could very easily be that I've just styled my hair slightly differently on one evening, whereas on the next evening I'm making more of a feature of my fringe. That's quite a nice touch. Now you recall I also mentioned Heidi by Paula in the colour 10. I'm not even going to bother putting my hair up. I'm just going to pop Heidi on. If I wanted to wear a full wig for any reason, yes, you can see my hair there. I would secure this wig extremely well, and I'd put a sticky tape here at the front. But Heidi, not that different to an acquaintance from Aida Topper. The reason I might want to wear a full wig is perhaps I haven't, dyed my own hair. I feel that it's very different colour to the topper, or I don't want to straighten it because maybe it might be dirty or something like that. So a full cap also, I'd feel very good, very comfortable in this. Let's clip her in, and then we can sort her out properly. So I've washed Savannah, and I have used a hot brush to kind of dry her, and then the curling tongs to curl her, but I haven't brushed her through yet. Fluff her up a little. She moves well. She's not clumping in the same way that she was before. I don't have a sticky in place there, so she's moving a little bit, so please excuse that. Bear that in mind. But basically, she's delightful. I feel $1 million in her. She smells fresh. Her movement is loosened up. I like the way the fringe, it's much more relaxed now. It's a much better shape. And the side pieces are feathering in really nicely to the rest of the hair. I would be very happy to wear this evening to my evening out. I look forward to wearing her. And I'm going to go there feeling good, looking so much improved. And I'm going to focus on people that I meet, the things that we're doing, and not worry about my hair loss in this very special third place tonight.